So, hello, Kieran. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us this afternoon. Well, it's really good of you.
You're very
We
welcome.
just wanted to ask you really about your experience about working with us and why you chose to work with us. So, if we could just start off, tell us a little bit about your business, Flex, and why you chose to come to us.
So we are a business now of five clinicians. And I guess we're very much a bit of a COVID success story in some ways, unusually. We started working in a GP practice during COVID, and we became quite busy quite quickly. So we were looking to expand the business, and we took on a derelict high street unit and we converted it. We put four clinic rooms in there and a rehabilitation gym. And it all started to develop quite quickly.
Hmm.
And we were at the stage where, because there was only three of us at the time, a lot of the time we were lone working in this big space. And in all honesty, we probably felt quite vulnerable because the business was growing very quickly, but we didn't have the compliance underpinning the business. So it probably wasn't the safest environment for us, clinically and professionally, really. So and it was that journey, I guess, from moving towards being kind of um, in incompetent
Yeah.
in terms of our or what is it? It's consciously, we were unconsciously incompetent to start
Yeah.
with, and as
Yeah.
we started to become more conscious in our incompetence, that was quite scary. So we really needed the compliance in place, which is why we contacted you guys.
Yeah. And how did you find us? How did you manage to find
We
us?
found you on Facebook actually,
Oh, right.
because you're quite active within the MSK group on Facebook, and that's where we found you.
Great, great. And what do you think about? I mean, we're very much around policies and templates and education and understanding of those. So for you, what was, there is a lot, I know that there is a lot of people out there who do cut and paste policies and just will take the policy and just cut and paste. What for you is important, why you wouldn't do that? What did you get from us that gave you more than that policy?
It's not about for me and for myself and my business partners. It's not about just having a load of policies.
Yeah,
It's about and you guys really helped us with this. What is the point of the policies? So how do those policies improve the running and the compliance of the business? And that's been a, a journey that we've been on, really. So cutting and pasting policies wouldn't have done the job. We really needed to understand why those policies are there and
yeah,
how it's going to improve the running of the business.
yeah, yeah. Great. I think Sandra's got a couple of questions
I've
as
got a couple
well.
of things. Thanks, Kieran. I mean, what really has the difference been, being with us? What difference has it really made to Flex? If you were to say this has been the big thing for us, what would it be?
I think probably you have allowed us um, to concentrate on growing the business. Because when we first started to become conscious of our incompetence, we were looking for ways in which to improve our compliance, and that was taking up an awful lot of our time. So to have you guys on board to hold our hands on the process has been massively helpful because it means that we can concentrate on growing the business and knowing that you guys have got our backs and that our compliance is improving along the way.
Hmm.
So that's probably been the biggest shift, really, rather than getting bogged down in in compliance work, having you guys having our backs, so we can grow the business, and knowing what we need to do, you know.
And that's great, because I was going to ask you about, you're very aware working with us, that was Sarah and I talk about La Cucina, our newsletter, the kitchen, and
Yes,
about you can stay in the restaurant, 5-star food on the plate, and
yes,
we'll help you pot wash so that you don't create food poisoning that goes out front of house. So we look
yes,
after your brand that way, which you've just reiterated beautifully, which is
yeah.
great. Thank you. So really what we're saying is, is it worth budgeting the cost
Oh,
for doing?
completely. I mean, you know, when we first started on this journey, we were trying to, do all of our compliance work. You know, we knew how lacking we were there. We were also trying to do all of our marketing ourselves as well. And, you know, one of the things that we've learned along the way is that, you know, you surround yourself with expert people, and you know, and don't try and do it all yourself. So absolutely, we have a budget for marketing, we have a budget for compliance work, and it's a business cost, you know, at the end of the day, and it's tax deductible, of course.
And then also, now that we're staying with you, you've been through your processes, you've done the whole journey, you've been through the stuff at the beginning, you've been through a full audit, and you're still wanting to stay, and we're still here, as we're using your words, hand holding. Okay.
Yes.
What's the value of that bit? Why do you think, yep, we've got there, we know what we're doing, but we still
Yeah.
want you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think ultimately it's to keep us on track. You know, we know, we know now that we're running a quality organization. Um, we're hoping to expand the business. We're hoping to open up another clinic in the not too distant future. And we don't want to let things slip, really. You know, for all of the stakeholders involved in the whole enterprise, really. You know, for us as well as the patients, and you know, our colleagues as well. We're running a you know, a very professional outfit now.
Yeah.
And you know, we don't have the anxiety anymore, you know, and that's the other thing. You know, there's a lot of anxiety around, you know, when you know that your business is a bit lacking from a compliance perspective. That anxiety has largely dissipated now, which is great. So yeah, so I think definitely there's some mileage in continuing this journey with you guys. The other thing, of course, is that we're, you know, eventually we're looking towards CQC as well.
Yeah.
And we're pretty confident now that we've got the, you know, all of the foundations in place to successfully negotiate that in due course as well.
That's great, thank you. So basically, the next question, I think you've already answered it really. Would you recommend the service to your colleagues who are thinking, shall I make a jump? Shall I not jump? Shall I do this? What would you say to
Personally, I think it's a no-brainer, because it allows you to concentrate on growing the business. It removes, you know, removes the anxiety associated with you know, worries around being non-compliant. And you guys have been great to work with. So no, absolutely, I'd recommend.
And have you learnt a lot doing the process?
Loads.
Mm.
Loads,
And
but
we,
in a really positive way, in a really
Yeah.
positive way.
yeah, we don't
Yes.
use sticks, we only use carrots, as we say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kieran. Is there anything you want
Thank
to
you.
ask us?
No, just thank you for all your help, and you know, look forward to continuing to work with you.
That's great.
Great.
Thank
Thank you,
you very
Kieran.
much.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
time.